Well, welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Brandon, Little NC Farmer. We're coming back to you again. We're down here at the farm, and let's walk down and look and see how the corn came up, see how that's looking. And I've got a lot I want to do today. Nothing don't happen. I'm going to try to transplant some sweet potato slips. This is the earliest I have ever done that. Usually it's toward the end of May, not the beginning. Today is May 1st. 2025, and so the plan is to get those in the ground. I'd like to go ahead and do some watermelons while I'm here, and we'll see what happens. We're going to be using both tractors if nothing don't happen, and so I really need to do some cultivating, go ahead and put some fertilizer down. Forecast we might get some rain this weekend, so we'll see. But let's walk down and look at the corn. Well, guys, I don't know how good that shows up on camera. Now, I do have some spots like right there that's vacant. And what I'm going to do, I brought my seed with me, and I'm going to go ahead and drop a few seeds down. I don't have many of those spots, thankfully. But, guys, overall, it looks like it's roughly about a foot apart, maybe just a tad longer. Now, we got a gap there. But that right there, that's just about what I was wanting. And I went through here and got some rocks out of the way, but I'm going to try this. The only thing I did not do, I didn't scrape the top of that bed off. I wished I'd have done that, because if you look right here and right here, I don't know how that's going to cultivate with a rolling cultivator, but we'll try it and see what happens. But I'm going to go along and gather some of these rocks off. But the plan is to cultivate this, and I want to bed me up a row up here for sweet potatoes, and kind of doing it a little different. Usually I've had the corn up about middle ways and the sweet potatoes down this way. I'm going to try it the other way around and just see how it works. I would like to put me out a row of beans up there too. I don't know if I know I won't do it today, but maybe in the future, because I need beans. I love my green beans. Love to can them. They're easy to can. So let's walk down to the other garden and see what's going on down there. Okay, guys, this is the trucker's favorite yellow corn, and I can't grumble. I didn't bring any seed with me, but I don't see any skip spots amount to anything, so I really can't grumble. But I'm probably not going to cultivate this, because that bank up beside of them's a little bit higher, so I may leave this alone. Probably wished I hadn't, but this last row right here, I planted me a row of beets down through here, and it looks like I see some here and there. So my mom loves beets. Well, her and Dad both do, so I planted them for them, really. And if we can get a few, that would be nice. But I'm a little bit afraid to try and plow that yet, because it looks like it could be, it could knock that dirt over and cover that plant. So I don't want to do that. I'd rather it be a little taller. But we'll just have to see. I could set those things where they're not quite as aggressive. I may look into doing that. I don't know. We'll just see. But guys, overall, I mean, excuse me, I'm tickled with the planter, with the way it done. I really am. This is the most I've used that planter in years. And I might go over my dad's potatoes over there. That's his row of potatoes he planted. And the plan is to put my watermelons up here. I don't know, I may bed up about 3 rows and see what happens, but I'm going to use I'm gonna use the Ford to bed the rows up because I don't want to take those rolling cultivators off. Now I will take it. I'll take the farm all and come down through here and put my fertilizer out, and the same for the sweet potatoes. But I'll take the Ford and just bed the row up once I get my fertilizer down, and we'll go from there. But I've got to disc this up. We got a bunch of junk coming up in here. Need to see if I can knock that back down. That stuff, I know it's a good medicine, but it don't belong in the garden. I'm sorry. It can grow wild anywhere it wants to, but stay out of my garden. But let me see if we can get that knocked down. And guys, let me see if I can get a tractor running, and we're gonna get at it. guys, that didn't quite go as planned, but I did get my this corn cultivated, but I didn't get the other. I'll say more about that later. But anyway, I have got my fertilizer put down. You just seen me bed this row up. I used my Ford to do that. And there's a reason. I've got rolling cultivators on my 140 now. So, but the reason I didn't want to do that down there is because I didn't knock that bed off. I wished I'd have done that, what I was thinking, but in a hurry, I guess. But it worked out great. I mean, let me just show you. You can see here, I did go over this. But I didn't get it to go down enough to activate the fertilizer hopper, so it's not fertilized yet. And so that's something that's gonna have to be done, but I've got time. I mean, but anyway, we're gonna get some sweet potatoes put out. And the thing is, I didn't get any footage of it because my camera was not activated. So I apologize for that. So guys, let's walk down here in the woods and let's see. First off, I hope I don't get on a pilot, aka copperhead. And that's the last thing I want to do today. But I need me a forked stick to plant my sweet potatoes. I went off and left mine at home, and so I need the perfect stick. And well, we've got snakes here. There's a skin. But anyway, we're gonna walk down here in these woods, and got a feeling I might find something right over here. While I'm down here, I wanted to show y'all something. When I had this property cleared years ago, the guy put the stumps and stuff, they was burnt on it over the years. That's what's left of it, and I got some trees that's come back up. But I hope, Lord willing, I want a garden right here someday. And I sowed this crimson clover, red clover, out here to help build my soil up, for one thing. And I'm waiting on it to seed out because I don't want to lose that. It came back great. But something that I've always heard old timers around here say, and I've got shorts on, and I don't particularly want to walk where I can't see where I'm putting my foot down at. So we're gonna walk around this way. I know the grass is a little closer. I did mow through here a while back. But y'all see those stick weeds right there? These right here. I've had old timers to tell me that where you see those growing will make a wonderful garden spot. Well, I hope they knowed what they were talking about, because Lord willing, one day this is going to be one. I got to get some stumps out now. And it's looking, I might find something down in here. I forgot to bring mine from home. I wished I hadn't forgot that. That poplar, that stuff is just too flimsy. It's easy to break, for one thing. Find a straight maple, that would work great. White oak, maple, holly, Concord grape. Yeah, I forgot to fertilize that this year too. Let's walk out in here. There's a piece of sourwood, but not quite big around enough. It's out where it does fork, it's flimsy. Guys, we might have something here. Let me see what I can do. I'm gonna cut it off as close. This is sourwood. I'm gonna try to cut it off close to the ground as I can. There we go. Nope, I take that back. That's not sourwood, that is beet. And we've got, I don't need that sideways, but let's see here. We'll get rid of this, and I'm gonna cut it just like that, just like that. Now this one, we'll try that, see if it'll work. Let's go on back up here to the field. All right, guys. This is how my granddaddy used to put these out years ago. We got out of growing sweet potatoes, got out of practice, but I actually love them. And my dad loves them. We all like them, so we're going to try to have us some more, provided the deer will let us. All right, I'm going to go along and drop them. I put them about 16 to almost 1.5 feet, 2 foot apart, something like that. Guys, with what I've got here, and I've got that many more coming, I didn't count those. There's supposed to be 2 dozen. I think there's more than that. But I should have another 2 dozen coming from, George's Plant Farm. I saw Danny and Wanda mention them, so I tried them out. The first plant that I looked at was called Beauregard, and they said they were a heavy producer. So that's the one I ordered. I ordered 2 dozen. I don't know when they're going to be here. Look at there. I got a snake out here. I don't know if you see that or not, but I'll show you how I do this. I think Danny does it the same way. I may have seen some other folks do it, but I just come along, stick a hole, take that fork, push it down, just like so. And I will come back in a little bit and water these in. And I'm hoping, the weather forecast is calling for some rain, I think Saturday. Today's Thursday. So I hope we do get some. We're actually needing it here. Now these did not come from George's Plant Farm. I ordered these from another company. I won't call the name, but they're not the prettiest I've ever seen. And the thing is, guys, around here we've got one store that has them, but guys, it's not what he says they are. They're a different breed. And I know 1 year, and I've got it on here, I had 1 good year of sweet potatoes. And the other time, they were supposed to be Covington Reds, and that's what I got. And that's what these are, by the way. And I like those. And the next year I got them, they were white. I ain't got nothing against it. If that's what you want, that's fine. But they just did not do well for me. And so I just quit fooling with him on that. I mean, he's a nice guy. But I want my sweet potatoes to be what they say they are. And I have seen better plants. I've got a few Covingtons at home. I don't know how many they're going to be. Won't be this many, I know. But I tried to start some. Oh, get in there. You folks that live where you got sand, you don't know how blessed you are. This clay is something else. It's a little bit dry on the dry side. That's why this is not cooperating. But I'm gonna have another row, and we'll get that done when we get the other plants in, probably be next week. We've still got plenty of time. I'll let these suckers here grow as long as they will. I gotta get my fence up. Don't know if y'all seen that, but that's a project. I've got a video started on that. I want to kind of do a start to finish with that. But let's say something about sweet potatoes. They are pretty resilient plants, and they love hot weather. I did not know this, but somebody told me that North Carolina was a #1 state for growing sweet potatoes. All right, that's it. Did y'all count that? 'Cause I didn't. But I don't know. I know they do grow a lot of them in the sand hills. But we got that. Maybe do another row of those over there. And I would love to put me a row of beans out here. Let me get this where y'all can see what's going on. I gotta edit this. I may cut out half of it. It may not look good. This is curly leaf that's gone up to seed. I sowed some of that in here back in the winter and in the fall. And over here, this is creasy greens. And my plan is, I'm letting these go to seed. I hope by the time I plant peas next month, these will have turned brown and I can harvest them for seed, because we love our creasy greens around here. And they done great here this past winter. We had good results with it. So anyway, that's kind of why I've left that. And I've went through it. I don't remember if I went through it with something. I don't remember if it was the cultivator or the harrower. I don't remember. I may have done both. I don't know. But I've broke it up one time and just kind of letting it keep the grass from overtaking it. But out there in that gray dirt, I am going to plant watermelons. So it's all right. We're gonna try this. I got this idea from Joey, JT West. I don't know if this planter is gonna work. I know he did it with that. I've never planted watermelons with it. I always planted them in little separate hills. But we're gonna try this and see. This first one's supposed to be Georgia rattlesnakes, and we're gonna find out if this thing is gonna put out. There we go. These are supposed to be heirloom. And my memory's right, I got these. I planted these actually down on that lower end where those potatoes are. I got the seed from Hall's Tool, if I remember right. And these seed here are some from my watermelon. So it ought to have just a little bit of this area acclimated into the seed. Well guys, I know it's been a mixed up video, and I appreciate you watching if you've hung in this far. And hopefully I'll be able to share some more results with you. I am well pleased with how my planter put out. I am well pleased with how the planter put out, the spacing, the gaps in it. I don't know if that's from seed. I don't know if it's from the planter. And another possibility, I've never had a problem here. It could have been crows. Because some of them, I was looking as I was putting seed back down, it looks like there has been some seed plucked up. I don't know. We've never had an issue with that here, but one thing I did do, I don't think I showed this on camera, but I always put down black pipe, and ever since I did that, I've never had an issue with crows. It's deer. Deer's been the worst thing around here. Now, we did have a spell years ago. We had a lot of squirrels that was getting in and wiping out cornfields, and you know, that's whole nother issue you got to deal with. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get off of here and try to get a little bit of water on those sweet potatoes, and then I'm gonna head for the house. So y'all have a great day. Until the next time, take care.